The Supreme Court has decided to uphold its ruling that TikTok should be banned from the country. The law is set to go into effect January the 19th of 2025. And if it does go into effect, this will affect a lot of small business owners, especially those who sell their handmade crafts online. So I thought that it would be important for my channel to speak about this topic and to just discuss other options that may be available. So without further ado, let's get into it. I have a small clip here to play from CNN just to give us a better idea of how many small business owners are going to be affected and why. So let's go ahead and play that clip.
Now, TikTok says a ban would hurt millions of creators and small businesses. Many of them have been in Washington protesting the law. 170 million Americans, like Claire just said, think about that, use the app. That includes some 7 million small businesses. TikTok says a ban would cost them about $1 billion in lost revenue. Now, individual creators would suffer $300 million of lost earnings in just 1 month. That's the estimate anyway.
Okay, that's a lot of small business owners and a lot of lost tax revenue. So I'm not understanding what is going on here. I don't understand why the government would rule against themselves and lose out on that much tax revenue when the country is in that much debt. There has to be something deeper going on here, because in the first place, they said that they wanted TikTok to go away because they believed that Americans' data was being given to the Chinese government and that they had intel on all of the citizens because of everyone that was giving up their data basically for free to the Chinese government. However, that really makes no sense because the United States produces virtually nothing, and all of our computers, our laptops, our phones, and all the technology devices that we even have mostly come from China. So who is to say that our chips and the things that we already have aren't already being surveilled and that we're not already being spied upon just by those things alone and not by TikTok? But it's just a thought.
That has personal implications for creators like Summer Lucille. She gets 80% of her business from TikTok, where she posts videos on people finding dresses for their body type. And her Juicy Body Goddess account, get this, has more than 1 million followers.
It does not sit right for your frame.
No.
So let's just go try on another one.
Yep.
And see what that feels like.
I like the length.
You like the length? It is a cute dress, and I love the dress on you.
I do like.
Now, I have seen the Juicy Body Goddess on YouTube. She does have a channel on YouTube, but she also has channels on other platforms as well. And she doesn't have nearly as many subscribers or nearly as much reach on these other platforms that she does have on TikTok. So I can understand why 80% of all of her business does come from TikTok. And I don't think that we as business owners can really control which platform takes off with our business, but that's neither here nor there.
The V in the back. But for a wedding, no. We turn around.
Oh, this is pretty.
It's so beautiful.
We're saying yes to the dress there. Summer Lucille joins me now. Thanks for coming in just to kind of explain what all of this might mean for you. I'm interested to know what you thought of what happened today and what you believe it means for your livelihood.
I'm devastated. This ban will cripple my business. Like you mentioned before, 80% of my revenue and my traffic come from TikTok, not just from an e-commerce perspective. I've had people fly in from the UK, Australia, Canada, because they found me on TikTok. So this will be devastating to my business. And I've been in business for 15 years, 15 years. And not just recently, TikTok gave me the opportunity to get on a platform and reach audiences I've never reached on any other platform. So this will be devastating to my business.
Okay, so like I said before, we really cannot control which platform the most of our followers end up being on. So it will be devastating to her business for sure.
I have to ask you, given that you have had some time, and our reporter Claire Duffy just explained that, look, the app isn't going to disappear right away. What about switching, right? Switching to another platform?
Like I said before, I've been on all the platforms since 2012. I've been on all the major platforms. As a small business owner, you have to kind of utilize every inch in every platform. And nobody has ever, I've never had this type of opportunity in the last 15 years on any of the other app platforms as TikTok has given me. So, yes, I'm already on all the other platforms, but TikTok was still bringing 80% of my traffic.
Whether you're a business owner or a user, what do you think it is about TikTok that other platforms haven't been able to replicate? Why is it so essential?
The community and that algorithm.
Okay, I'm glad that she spoke about the algorithm because the Supreme Court said that TikTok could stay in the country if it agreed to sell its business to another company. But TikTok would not agree to give up the algorithm because that is what drives that particular platform. And without the algorithm, TikTok isn't TikTok anymore, and small business owners can't get what they need out of the service. So it is really sad that this TikTok is potentially going away because I do know that during the pandemic, so many people lost their jobs and they were looking for alternate ways to make money. And one of those alternate ways to make money was to either sew or start an embroidery business. And how else did they promote these businesses other than to get on a platform like TikTok that had the algorithm and the reach to be able to reach the specific target audience that they were looking to serve?
That is, it's the community. Once you that algorithm finding your community and find what you like, it's like your family and you never met the person. I have thousands of content creators that I've built relationship with, thousands of customers that I found through TikTok because we built this community, this plus size community that we love on each other, we support each other. It's the community, and other platforms do not have that. We don't.
Okay, so there's lots of other platforms out there, but I cannot help but think that this could potentially happen to other businesses because the bill that was written is written so vaguely, and because this ruling was made, it could set the way for other businesses to also be targeted, or other companies and platforms to be targeted as well for not being able to be here in the United States. And that could be a problem. I think I'm going to stop this clip right here and let's go ahead and look at some of the other platforms that are emerging. One of the first platforms that I found that is emerging is this Red Note app. And Red Note is called something else in the Chinese language. It's called Little Red Book, which translates to the book from Chinese Communist leader Mao Zedong. And there is no free speech on Red Note, and you aren't allowed to talk about any hot button issues, but that really doesn't matter to the person who is just looking to have their business on the app. However, it doesn't have the same algorithm as TikTok has, so you might not have the same reach. And also, for those of you who don't know, TikTok was a Chinese app that the Chinese were not allowed to access. It was solely made for US audiences because of our free speech laws and all of that stuff that exists. So, by going over to Red Note, Red Note was specifically designed for a Chinese audience with the under Chinese communist rule. So by going over to Red Note, now you not only have access to customers from here in the United States, but also from China and also any other country that is operating on Red Note. So this is more of an international app, meaning that you now don't have the potential to just sell to Americans, but you also have the potential to sell to people around the world. And that can be a good and a bad thing because most small businesses are not equipped for international shipping. So this may not be quite the viable option for those who are here in the States and solely wanting to operate with customers from the United States. However, if you are looking to expand and do some international sales, then have at it. Now, the app is not all in English as of yet, and a lot of it is actually in Mandarin. So there has been an uptick in the amount of people joining places like Duolingo so that they can learn Mandarin in order to interact with the users on RedNote. And that might be a X for a lot of people who don't want to learn Mandarin. And another thing about this app that I found out is that you can earn by doing paid promotion, selling products, and setting up an online store, but you don't get paid directly from the platform for viral posts. And that also could be another downside because other apps like YouTube do allow you to get paid for your post. And that segues to the next option that I would like to talk about, which is indeed YouTube. Now, I know the most about YouTube because I am a YouTuber. YouTube has a high barrier to entry that TikTok does not. So that already makes it an X for a lot of people who might not want to go through all of the hoops that you have to go through in order to be able to sell via YouTube. In order to be able to sell via YouTube, you have to be eligible for the YouTube Partners Program. And it took me almost 2 years to become eligible for the YouTube Partners Program because it's not easy to do. You have to get 1,000 subscribers and earn 4,000 watch hours in order to even be eligible for the YouTube Partners Program. And once your channel gets monetized, you cannot have made for kids videos, and you cannot get any strikes for hate speech on your channel, or you cannot sell on YouTube at all. Now, once you meet that barrier to entry, you can promote your products via your YouTube videos, shorts, and live streams. But there's only 3 different services that you can use for your store. And the store shows up under your channel under a tab that says store, of course. And the 3 options there for your shop are Spring, Spreadshop, and Shopify. Spring and Spreadshop are not viable options for sewists and crafters who make handmade items because those 2 are simply print-on-demand businesses. Print-on-demand businesses are ones that allow you to design a logo or something like that, and they print that logo onto a shirt or something like that and mail it out to your customer. So that's what print-on-demand is. So those 2 wouldn't work for a handcrafts business. The only one that would work would be Shopify. And Shopify is one of the largest e-commerce platforms on the internet. I have heard both good and bad things about the platform itself. Shopify is good because it does allow you to sell your items on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, along with being able to have your own personal website. It's all rolled into one, and it makes it very easy to make your own handmade products and then sell those things across all of those platforms without having to do so much work. And that is great on that end. But on the negative side, I have heard from some small business owners who say that their money was withheld for the 120 days. And that is just something that a lot of online companies like PayPal are notorious for doing because they don't have the same regulations that banks have, and they are not set up like a bank, even though they are dealing with your money. And that is something that regulation and stuff needs to happen with, but it just has not happened as of yet. I'm not sure that I want to take that risk with my personal money, but if you are interested in becoming a YouTube partner and selling your items via YouTube, then by all means. Instagram is the next thing that I want to talk about because you can sell your products through the Instagram Reels, and Instagram is pretty much set up for shopping, I think. But there's a different audience on Instagram than any other platform, and this audience tends to be an older audience, and it doesn't you don't get the same reach with selling products on Instagram as you do with TikTok and some of the other platforms. So it might be harder to be successful at this, but you could still do a good job, and it's actually something that maybe in the future I might try. Who knows? Okay, so aside from TikTok, there's really not another equal to it, unfortunately. I stayed up all night really looking at different apps available, but none of them really seem to match up to what TikTok has had to offer. So it is my hope that TikTok is able to stay in some way, shape, or form for those small business owners who have 80% of their business or more wrapped up in the platform. But guys, what do you all think? Do you think that another platform will emerge that will beat out TikTok? And do you think that the this ruling will lead to other rulings being made, which will cause other apps to no longer be available in the United States? Please let me know your thoughts in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, then please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm just trying to think if I have anything else to say. Here's what I have to say about all of this. There is a lot to really dig into when it comes to this topic because, like I said before, the United States makes none of its own things, and all of our technology basically comes from China and other countries. So it's like we're already being spied on. And many years ago, I heard from a college professor who said that the United States government had been spying on American citizens after 9/11 and had a lot of chips inside of televisions and things of that nature spying on people. So let's face it, we are being spied on one way or the other. And for some people, that's too close for comfort. But at this point, we have pretty much lived with this type of technology for the past 20 years. So I don't see that a lot of people actually care that they are being spied on, and maybe they should. At the same time, I think what more people are caring about at this moment is their wallets and how much money they have, since inflation is going through the roof at the current moment, and so many people lost their jobs and their livelihoods during the pandemic, and they never gained those back. And then two, we've had all these natural disasters like the wildfires out in California and the flooding in Asheville, and so many people are getting hit hard from all angles and are having a hard time paying their bills and all of these things. And then for TikTok to be taken down as well is like another blow. And I'm hearing whispers of the TikTok ban being the highest layoff in American history because so many small business owners are being affected by this. And I really do wish that I could have found some other app that was a viable option for you guys. I spent many hours looking online to see if there were other apps or other platforms out there, and none of them really seem to match up to what TikTok had going on. I know that some people talk about things like Lemon8, but Lemon8 is also owned by the same company that owns TikTok, which is ByteDance, and they're more like a Pinterest. So that really is not an equivalent to a TikTok. And then RedNote, the one that we spoke about, is a Chinese-based company and could too be banned as well. So neither one of those are really options. Now, I have heard of the app Flip, and Flip is really not for a small business owner. It's more so for somebody who likes to do product reviews and post those online, because you can get paid by doing product reviews on Flip. So it's really disappointing, and the more and more I studied all the different apps, the more it upset me that the TikTok is being taken away from us creators. I think that creators have lost a lot in the past couple of years because it sounds like we are going to lose Joann's. And that was like, for a lot of people, that is the last fabric store, in-person fabric store available. I know in my particular area, there are no options for buying fabric other than Joann's. Now, there is fabric at the local Walmart, but that is quilting cotton, and I wouldn't necessarily use that same quilting cotton to make clothes with because it's not of great quality. There are two local shops in my area that carry some fabric, but it's all quilting cotton, and that quilting cotton is astronomical in price and not affordable at all. Uh, and it is quality cotton, but it's really only for quilting. It's not any patterns that I would actually use for making a garment. So it's really sad to see the state of affairs, and I don't really know where things are going from here. But do let me know your thoughts about this, as I would love to hear from you. And I'm going to sign off from here, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening.